And as you can judge by the title of this episode, we are going to a car show in Beatrix again, so I can get a little bit more of a balance between my Ford and Rover stuff. And quite frankly, Beatrix has been, apart from the Pride of Longbridge, all work and no play. And Jack's a dull boy, etc, etc. And I want to try and get a balance because quite frankly, I'm bored of working on the car constantly. Let's get out, let's see some cars, and let's take this to a show. So I'm going to cut back. When I get to the show, it's about half an hour away from me. It's a local show, and I only discovered it about a day ago. Apparently, it's a meet that has been organised the last 10 years, once a month on the first Monday of each month for about 7 months of the year. So God knows why I didn't discover this when I had my P6, but better late than never. Let's get there. And as you can see, I have my trusty sat-nav in the corner, so I know exactly where I'm going, just in case I do get lost on the back roads. The meet is organised by a club, forgive the sun, it is organised by a club called the Unnamed Classic Car Club. The Unnamed, that shall be unnamed. It is a Facebook group that started out about 10 years ago, and the meet we are going to today, it is currently 6:15 and the meet would have already started, but I didn't want to get there too early because that's when cars kind of haven't pulled in. So I thought I would get there at around 6:30, so we're not too far away. But anyway, we are travelling through Longbridge and just passed by Cofton Park as usual. So everything is going according to plan and nothing is dying on me. Touch wood on that one, everything seems nice. Just keep going forwards. There we go. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be quite a mix of cars, and I love car shows that are a mix of cars. I have no idea what to expect, but I expect a mix. So I'm going to leave you here, although shall we just go on the bypass? Yes, why not? Since I'm here, just put it to the left. And I've made it to the car show, the Unnamed Classic Car Show, which I've never been to. I've never heard of this show before yesterday, so this is really interesting. And Beatrix over there, somewhere over there, there she is, there we go. See, I'm getting used to this front-facing camera, backwards and everything. It is really sunny, and we have some MR2 alarms going off for some reason. We have quite a bunch of cars, and I'm going to bring you over here now. Excuse the sun, because the sun is coming from that direction, so hopefully this camera is not going to completely gazoose out of me. We're about an hour in and people are still turning up. That's such a 90s alarm, isn't it? Anyway, let's see if we can have a look around the cars and see what's here. We have got quite a mix. I mean, this is such a random show. People are coming in. I've only just got here and about 7 cars have turned up of completely different ages, which is what I absolutely love. So Beatrix has made it in one piece. She has not broken down on me. Good car. Right next to it, oh my goodness me, this is quite a bit nice interior actually. What is it? I can't remember what it is. This is really embarrassing. I'm gonna what, can someone tell me what this car is? This is ridiculous. My car knowledge is going to be extremely pushed to the limits. Obviously MR2 Mark II, and just come round here. That's a nice interior. I like that. Oh, it's the 2-litre GTS. Oh yes, GTI 16. And then next to it we have a Nissan 300Z X. Oh, what particular one is it? It's a twin turbo. Oh, how interesting. Wow, that's some cool interior. Nissan, Toyota know how to do really swervy interiors in the 90s, where that, for me, just makes me think of Lamborghini. Did Lamborghini get inspiration from Nissan by any chance? I do like the sort of H-frame you get on these. Interesting wheels. As I say, apologies for the sun. I'm trying to actually make the most of it. This, sorry, I got it wrong. This is the car that the alarm was going off. It keeps going off, so I shouldn't have probably touched it because I could have set it off again. But anyway, we have something VW-ish here. Now I'm going to come back over here in a second. We have quite a few cars down here, and if I come down here, oh, by the way, we have got some donkey action going on here, which is really nice for the kids. So if you're going to keep the little ones occupied, then I would certainly recommend that. But I'm just going to pass a few cars for a second. I mean, honestly, the selection we have got here is unbelievable. There's a lot of nice cars here. So I'm going to start off on the left hand side. So I can't remember. Now this is a BMW what exactly? I'm not sure. It is a touring. I always prefer the touring. I think they look great on these, and it's been debadged. I think today I'm going to see a lot of debadged cars. It is an M series. How did I not know that? I'm not a BMW person, I wouldn't know that, but this is where they got the kidney grille perfect. But after this, they started going a bit too much, if you know what I mean. Oh, an Audi A2. Oh, this is a rarity. Nice, very nice, and I love this. Oh, it's for sale as well. Wow, okay. 218,000 miles. This has done a fair few. Oh, we've got the odd condensation in the headlights, but these were so futuristic when they first came out, and no car has ever looked like these ever since. It is the 1.4 TDI with this swoopy back end, but highly practical interior. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm really pleased to see one because they seem to have just disappeared, and I remember these around as a kid, and these were very expensive back in the day. So to see one today is even more special. And we have next door a Mazda MX-5 with oh yes, nice interior, very nice interior indeed. I like touches like this. I do like the driving position. There's something about these. And next door we have a Lotus. Oh, dearie me. Go to the back of the car again, Andrew. Your experience does tell. XL SE and an E-Reg. Okay, I say I'm not really into Lotuses, but wow. Okay, you've got this fake wood on the dash, but everything seems to be in one piece with these very interesting material seats, almost like they've piped the material around the actual base. Quite interestingly, I'm amazed that it's got here. Testament to the owner for looking after it, and paintwork looks absolutely epic. And for all the Ford lovers, Ford Escort Mexico, of course it has to be, which has been extensively modified and changed, but actually pretty original, actually, saying that. It has been changed quite interestingly, but look at the blue stripe, that's just gorgeous. Just mini parking up, I can hear that from a mile away, and it's starting to get really busy now. We have a mini, oh, what is this? Now these seats are late mini seats, so I think it's had a few swaps here and there, unless I'm mistaken. Can't tell by the registration, but definitely these tartan seats are very much a late addition. And next door we have this beautiful Austin A40 Farina. Now I've been told that this is a Countryman because it's got a split folding tailgate. I wouldn't have noticed that before, to be honest with you, but I've just been told that that is the Countryman edition, and I think they did a superb job on basically what was an Austin A40 Devon and Somerset underpinnings, and then changing the body completely on the top. The interior is just absolutely sumptuous. I think that steering wheel is shared with the Morris 1100. I'm pretty certain about that. There's quite a few things that were shared with many other Austins of this period. And I really do love these wheels. I think the spokes on the side, just classy, cheap but classy hubcaps style. And obviously bumper overriders galore. And obviously of the MG equivalent, we have an MGF. We have to have an MGF here with this sumptuous black interior, all black actually, even the center console's black. I wonder if that's been changed or whether that's original, because these wheels certainly look the actual, they certainly look the business. It's almost like gunmetal, but this is actually really, really looked after. Now, that's not the original registration. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, I've just come over this side because it's getting a bit jammed, but this looks very much like a 420 GSI, and it could be. It says 16 valves on the back of it, and it's an N reg, but it's been slammed on, I suspect, some very VW Golf modified wheels. Please, somebody can correct me on this. It's not for me, but the owner's preference and choice. I've got a feeling though that this is a 420 GSI that has been slammed, literally. I think it's been done on coilovers. That is an earlier bonnet because it would have come with the grille. That is not correct for this car. It has definitely been in amongst. I think that is definitely a 420 GSI. Those seats give it away massively. Oh, and we have to have a midget next door wearing some very nice stickers, a lovely 3D correct registration plate. I think the 3D ones suit cars pre-72, pre-73, which is what they'd have been fitted. The piping, these seats have been done in this nice white piping, and I believe that's vinyl and not leather. But the dashboard, if you can have a look, it's actually very rustic. You've got this rusting effect on the side. That's quite fascinating how they've kept it like that. And obviously all this paintwork and scabs, very big scabs and scabs up the front. Do you know what? This is typical of what you might naturally see back in the day. It's really nice to see this, because coming to a show and seeing all showed up cars and pristine paintwork, it's not representative of kind of what you would naturally have seen back in the day. I mean, this is before my time, but still it gives me a picture of how scabby these cars would have got. Maybe the owners just bought this. Here we have a VW Golf GTI on an is that correct registration? A-reg possibly. This wonderful colour. I don't know if that's a channel. And then we have these lovely wheels. Wow, okay, very nice. Wow, okay, that's incredibly tidy, and I don't know what engine that is, but that looks like a modern VW engine. I have no idea what this is, but it looks very tidy, very painted, and very neat. I bet that goes like stinking this. Oh, hopefully the rest of the car can actually cope with the amount of power that this produces. And over here we have a Mercedes. Oh, you see, today's show is going to start off with the make of the car, and then and then I go to the back of the car and discover exactly what it is. An SLK 200 compressor with all the lashings of leather that you can imagine and all the gadgets you would ever need. I quite like that. And then you've got these rimless windows, which really, who doesn't like rimless windows? Nice alloys. If I come round here, we've got plenty more cars round here. We have another VW Golf GTI. I do like this insert, I really do. On a D-reg, colour coordinated wheels by the look of it too. Actually, no, they just look really shiny. I thought they were colour coordinated just then, but maybe not. Again, we have this lovely sort of check pattern and typical dashboard. VW, it looks very robust, put it that way. Very robust indeed. And we have another Focus ST coming right in. I believe it's an ST, yes, by the registration plate. Very nice indeed. 3-door. That is what you call a mongoose. That is a mongoose back box I can instantly hear that. Mongoose or very similar. And there's a lovely hood on the back of this car. So being the cabriolet version, you've got all this frame to deal with. It's a lot of complexity, and this hood looks very new to me. It's been all done with the netting as well added on. That's really neat. Are you into your 90s banana yellow BMWs with yellow French headlights? Yeah, no, not me. M series again. But the era where BMW started to get extremely good. I mean, I think the 90s was the perfect time. I think that the coupe look does it for me. I think 90s BMWs, yes. But I don't want to stomach the costs of bodywork repairs. If you think Fords are bad at rusting, try these. MGF, once again. I think this is Old English white. Pretty certain about that, with your red matching interior. Wow, lots of walnut on display here. But I love the Old English white and red leather interior. It goes so well. It goes on MGBs. Late 90s minis had this sort of scheme. Quite a few cars had this scheme from MG Rover. And just bring you back here. Those lovely wheels down there. Very nice indeed. And oh yes, we've got another Focus ST here with some really big spoiler action and a blacked out back window. Oh no, I'm so sorry about this. The owner's going to kill me if I put this on YouTube. It's an RS. I've not actually seen an RS Mark II in the flesh, so this is a first. And wow. Mercedes AMG. I'm just going to look at the engine and go, yeah, V8. That is a V8, and it feels quite hot under here. I'm not going to pretend I know what this is. I'm not going to even try it, guys. No wonder. Why did I not see that it was a Corvette? By the way, I will say one thing. I'm not into American cars in one respect. I don't have any interest for them. I can't tell. The only one I can identify is a Mustang. I can't identify any other American cars. It's just, they sound great, but they just don't float my boat. And I've got to be honest with you, why would I want one? I live in the UK. I don't want to be driving around an American car on the wrong side of the car in the left-hand side lane. I just don't get it for me. This interior of the AMG, yeah, it's top notch. Just, it's gonna date quickly. We have a Mini 1100 on a V-Reg. This would have been around 1981-ish. So you'd have the smaller wheels. Much smaller wheels and drums at the front instead of discs. They made the wheels a little bit bigger on the 82, 83 models to encompass disc brakes at the front, because obviously they were trying to improve these cars. But we have this lovely open tinted, I think a Webasto sunroof, I should say, with this little sun guard there that they've added on, but it retains the original seats with the tartan fabric. I call them like picnic basket seats, I call them, something like that. Yeah, really nice to see. And next door to it we have a BMW 2002. I was about to say that before I actually saw the badge. I thought I saw this, and these are incredibly rare. I mean, take a look at the paintwork here. You think your paintwork's patinaed? No, that's nice. I wouldn't want to touch that. That takes a lot of doing that, or that does. Lovely to see it in just used condition. It's not restored, it's just working. I mean, look at the front of it. And we've got someone who actually specialises in the car parts for these, so quite interesting. But this is a very nice example. It's caught my eye because it's not overly used. We've got a couple of Beetles coming in, still got people coming in. It's ridiculous. Yep, nice American car. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. Oh, we have an MGB rubber bumper in this rather deep blue colour. Now, I'm not sure what these are, but these are MGB V8 alloy wheels. I know that for sure. And cloth interior, black interior. I think MGBs pretty much of the 70s had black interiors, and there's no cutout for the spokes on these. I think the cutout for the spokes was actually quite a limited number. I think in 1972 cars got sort of cut out on the spokes. I'm probably wrong about that, but there was a year where they only made the steering wheel with the cutouts, whereas you've got this steering wheel for most of the 70s. And obviously got these rear opening windows, which I absolutely love. I think it's something that old cars, newer cars, should really encompass. But nice to see one that hasn't had its chrome bumpers thrown away. We have another Lotus XL over here, and I believe this is another Lotus XL SE. No idea, that's an Aussie car. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know. This is a Mustang, absolutely 5-litre Mustang in green in all the glory, and it's an automatic because they're all automatics. BMW E39, I believe. I think I've got that right. Probably the best generation of BMW, the best 5 Series. This is the best 5 Series before they got overly technical and fat and blobby. And I think this car is the balance. If you want a modern classic, go for one of these. I really would. It's one BMW that I've looked at and I've thought about, and I haven't quite gone for one. This is a 525i, and they were around everywhere about 5 years ago. Now they've literally disappeared. This one is completely original, and it is for sale. Goodness me. And it's a manual. Wow. Most of them can be automatics. That's very tempting. I'm just yeah, best generation of 5 Series ever. VW Golf Cabriolet going off. And here we have a Sunbeam Alpine, no less, and very underrated sports car in my opinion. Very overlooked in terms of the MGB. Really stylish actually, and I don't know why it just didn't catch on in the same numbers. The Spitfire also caught on in good numbers, this didn't, but I don't know why. It looks just as good. Ironically, we have an MGB with chrome wire wheels, the ones that take a million years to polish and clean, with this gorgeous colour, the best colour to get an MGB in, and I've seen quite a few restored and had their colour changed to this because it's just great. Although I don't believe that that should be done nowadays. I think you should keep the colour original to the car. But red piping on the seats, all been refurbed, and same oh god, monolite steering wheel, because I had one on my P6. Very well made things, lovely. And we have a rubber bumper MGB again with something weird going on. These are not standard. But yeah, we have a nice hood, and oh gosh, brown seats. Oh dearie me, they are exquisite, with the black interior again. Aftermarket steering wheel, very few of them have got the originals, with the lovely rocker switches there and all your little controls there. Look at those tiny little gauges and that little clock, gorgeous. Cracking. And we have a stag. Yes, fancy going to a party and saying, what you bought today? Oh, I've got a stag, I bought the stag outside. Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? I can't quite do a Jamie Clarkson impression there, but still. And one that doesn't look rusty whatsoever unless it's hiding some gremlins. Just gorgeous things. Love one. I'd love one of these, and if they became more affordable, which I doubt because they're very popular, honestly, this has all been done. Yeah, if they became a little bit more affordable, I would look at one, but this is one classic that has passed me by sadly on my budget. But crackers, absolutely cracking car. If you got 10 grand, if I had 10 grand, I'd get one as good as I possibly can. And I believe, oh, this is a manual gearbox. That is a rarity. Most of them are Borg Warner 3-speed autos. Now this is a later Mini. One reason we've got this check pattern seats, we've got these later wheels, which I really like. And if we come around to the front, and I can actually show you this because the owner's opened the bonnet, we have the multi-point injection Mini. Now look at how stuffed this engine bay is. This is why a lot of people don't necessarily like the later ones, even though I'd say they're more usable. The multi-point injection gave us a proper no distributor that was deleted completely in for an actual proper coil pack with what they call distributorless ignition system, which we've had since probably the mid-90s. A much bigger alternator instead of the tiny one, so a proper alternator to power all the electrics that came in these cars. Honest to God, there's hardly any space whatsoever. I believe we have the ECU mounted there. We have quite a few other things, honestly. The air conditioning is stuffed right here on these. That is the air conditioning. You've got aircon on a lot of the later ones, particularly, and I suspect, yes it is a Japanese. It is a Japanese car, and actually, if I take a look on the inside, yep, it is an automatic. You can't see it, but I can. This is an automatic. Most of the Japanese ones are automatics. I'd like to get my hands on one actually being an automatic, but I really don't fancy trying to decipher the engine bay just to replace one particular item, whatever that might be. But that does look like a spaghetti junction. They really tried to stuff as much under the bonnet when they can. But these are very reliable cars, and do you know what? It's really nice to see. But one thing I will tell you now is if you look at the bottom of the doors, they might be later Minis, but they actually suffered just as badly in the bodywork department, which is why these are very popular to import, because they come with no rust. This one has come with some rust along the doors, but actually it looks very solid otherwise. Right, the owner's just let me have a little sit in his car because, quite frankly, he caught me talking, and I got most of it correct, apparently. Wow, okay, this is really compact. I have been in a Mini before, but not for a long time. This is the air conditioning part, and this is where your interior space was kind of compromised on the later ones, but a really good option, and apparently it works really well. Do you know what? For an engine that first came out in 1952, that sounds pretty sweet. Now, I actually have been told by the owner that this is a Tokyo car. Now, this here, holding the registration plate on, is a tamper-proof seal. Now, these had to be fitted to the Japanese market. Now, I've been told by the owner that to get a brand new, unmolested one of these is £128. That's just unbelievable. There's a few other things that are completely rare to this car that you would never think. In fact, inside the car, and I will show you this now, is down here, there is actually a flare. There should be a flare down there, and that apparently, it's up there, and that has to be used. That is actually a mandatory thing in Japan. There is a couple of pieces of trim that apparently are extremely expensive. Apparently this piece is $350. Honestly, what a cracking car. Just been speaking to the owner for a few minutes, and the aircon in this blows so cold. I'm really, honestly, it's a cracking car. I would like a Mini. I really would. And what we have here is a Mark II facelift VW Polo, and this is absolutely gorgeous in Capri green. And we have the 1.3 overhead valve VW lump, which I have seen before in quite a few other cars. My neighbour has the coupe version of this in white. This is the bread van back end, and they actually did a really good restyle of the Mark II. And then obviously it became the Mark III, where it was a bit more blobby and a bit more rounded. I don't like the Mark III personally. They just didn't quite do it for me. But the actual basis of the Mark I and the Mark II, you can kind of see it in this car still, that DNA. But they kind of lost it after this. And then they changed direction completely with their design philosophy. Just before we go, we are seeing a Mini Clubman drive off, a Countryman, a metal-bodied Countryman with big thick wheels indeed. And another one. And another one. Is that a 1275? Yes, it is. It's a 1275 GT. Thought it was. I'm just going to tell you now that I had no awareness of this show, and apparently, because today is a Monday, it's nowhere near as popular as certain Sundays. So, unbelievably so, it gets even more rammed. I mean, I thought by coming at 6:30, half an hour after this started, I would be okay. Turns out I was late because I'm parked there and not many more people have come in. So I was kind of one of the late ones. So I just can't believe how popular this show is. 300ZX. We have a Beetle with numerous amounts of stickers on the back window. And yeah, I want to take you for a ride. Maybe not. That sounded wrong there. Oh, it's 300 with beautiful tailpipes and stainless steel back box assembly. Yes, that's quite typical. Very nice rear light clusters, lovely kit plate. Yeah, you can have some fun on that if you've got a good friend who you trust to lock the doors. You can have a very, very nice ride on the sideboards. I don't recommend that, health and safety. We have Sprite here in I think April yellow. That could be potentially the colour here, but again, the carpet has been done out really nicely. That's completely new. All the piping is completely new. This is such a nice pile material, and we have the wood. I can't remember what it's called now, but basically that is quite a nice addition. Can you please someone tell me what this is? Because I have no idea what it is. The technical word, I know what it's used for, but the technical word for it, because I don't want to get that wrong as well. But next door we have a VW Scirocco on a D-Reg, 1986. I do love the door handles on 80s VWs. They got that absolutely spot on right, and the styling is just sporty. It is very much, and I will say this, they certainly got some inspiration from the Audi Quattro in the 80s. 100%. We have beautiful Mini, and we have a Veteran. Don't tell me that is what opens the door. I mean, you've got one on the back as well. I think it seems to be the VW Fest today. We have another, it's a Scirocco. Very early one as well. Oh, it's the GT version with the lovely back spoiler there. And the original back window, I can tell because there's a slight tint into the window. I think it's one of those early safety glass windows, and I think the windscreen will be the same. VW Golf GTI on a Y-Reg, so obviously Mark 1, very nice to see. I'm walking over here now, and I can tell you now, I'm not into American cars, but no wonder they couldn't park this anywhere else, because let me just get to the front of the car. Yeah, flipping heck. I must have aged about 10 years doing that walk. I mean, honestly, how much, take a guess how much you would like to, how much it would cost to respray your car? Goodness me. I mean, honestly, imagine doing Dynax on this. It'd take me about 5 years to get from that side to the front with the spraying. In fact, I'd probably need about 20 million cans. But, yes, I love this frameless, pillarless. And that's a Sunbeam Alpine, and that's why they're good cars. Love them. Rectangular speedometer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive fan of American cars for the reasons I've said above, but the styling is something to behold. They really did get it absolutely slap bang on right. And then we got this Porsche Carrera leaving here. Very nice. And on the back of this Mark IV Fiesta, which is a classic in itself these days and a very rare sight indeed, and it looks tidy, we have a very unusual car which has come on the back of a trailer, and it is in a barn find condition. I have very no clue about what this is, but it looks extremely nice indeed. And have you seen the size of those carburetors? It is really, really nice to see here. And a Mark IV Fiesta, which quite frankly it's a beautiful colour, and it's a gear. Wow, okay, that's a good start for. And it is, oh yes, the venerable Ford Sigma Zetec S, as it is known as. Potentially this is the 1.25 version. It is most likely either the 1.25 or the 1.4. Cracking, really, really tidy to see, and with the earlier silver top cam cover, as they are known as, the silver top, not the black top. Really nice to see on an X-Reg. Cracking. And this is the facelift. I call it the scowled face rather than the happy face. The Mark IV, the earlier Mark IVs were the happy face, and the facelift brought this sort of like scowl face. That's what I call it anyway. And as we get to the end of the show, we've got a couple of minis here. I mean, this one is absolutely cracking. Got another Clubman here. Got a lot of minis here. I expected a lot of minis. Oh, 1300 in Harvest Gold. Harvest Gold. Oh my goodness, what a colour. And the wood on the sides. This is a whole piece of, I suspect this is Formica. Oh, cracking interior as well. That is just absolutely gobsmackingly nice. This is such a beautiful colour for the time period, and I do love touches like that, and what you would expect back in the day. And I can smell waft of petrol as I actually get near the car, which is possibly not a good thing on a classic. Ooh, okay, Fiesta Mark 6. Now, some people confuse them and say Mark 7. No, these are Mark 6s. They are not Mark 7s. I think there was a bit of confusion about that, because the Mark IV facelift is sometimes, the Mark IV facelift that we've just seen can sometimes be confused as the Mark V. It's not. It's the Mark IV facelift, and this is a Mark 6. With all your 3D registrations and interesting spoiler at the bottom there. Nice car. Really nice car. And I do think these are going to be up and coming classics. I really do think that. They are the last Ford that I would probably consider as anything that could be a classic in years to come. I think it's the last of the old school Fords, and these certainly, from what I've been told, handle very similarly to a Mark I Focus. So that Ford DNA is still stuck in these well and truly. And we can see a lovely Beatrix over there looking very, very nice indeed. And this is, wow, this is one nice spot. I love the artwork on this. Is this original? It might well be, and it's been basically redone up as it might have originally been. And oh god, who doesn't love a skull gear knob? I mean, there's so many knobs you could buy. Why buy a skull knob? Nice battery, cute battery. And we have an upward flow radiator, which is quite interesting actually, because obviously in a modern car your side tanks are on the side. On an older, much older pre-1970s cars, most radiators were like this, where the header tank is at the top and at the bottom. Not as good at actually dissipating heat, and obviously technology has proved that, but back in the day this was the norm, with a two-bladed fan. I mean, a two-bladed fan, I mean, what good's that going to do? I don't know. And a dynamo that really can't produce much at all unless the car is actually moving. This is why technology has gone so far. But that's great design, great design. All this patinaed paintwork is very nice to see on Pontiac, which is what it is. Wow, okay, not my thing, but nevertheless nice to see it. And over here we have an MGZR. Now, I thought it was a 25 when it came in. I actually got it wrong because I looked at it straight away, and do you know what? I must have been as blind as a bat to get this wrong. ZR, beautiful. Very, very nice indeed to see. And ooh, got some Union Jack stick on. So interesting. He's got quite a few parts to sell as well. Very nice indeed. ZR with very common backlights to fit. Ah, nice. With the later dashboard as well, being a very late model, and it is a manual gearbox. Just checking. Want to make sure that this isn't another CVT. I do like the front end. I think they got it. Do you know what? The facelifted MG ZR and ZS look absolutely spot on with this grille assembly. I think they got it spot on. These look so much better than the Rover equivalents in some ways, and not others. I think this was a bit of a, this looks a bit funny the way it's actually fitted in. I think that's probably a poor fit, but this side is exactly the same, and I think there tends to be a bit of breakaging, which is possibly what's happened on this example, but nevertheless really nice to see. We have a Triumph Herald over here. Wow. In probably the most common colour for a Triumph Herald, I must say. Sorry, the sun is setting and I'm trying to get some good perspective. This is very much a rat look. It is as it is, unrestored. Yep, complete with rusty sills, but nevertheless, really nice to see. I do like these tail lamps. I think the reason that these cars look so feminine is the backlights. I don't know why, they just look feminine. But that interior is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Hello, Beatrix. Skoda Octavia, probably the best generation Octavia there is. A lot of these have done hyper miles down the years. Cracking car. We've got a few random selections down here. I'm just going to walk over here. A few cars being seen. We have a Triumph TR7 that I actually missed this earlier, this TR7. We have a Schwacker being started. Always likes to see a TR7. Very underrated cars with this wedge shape. It never really caught on, but the truth is the 70s was always about being a little bit different, and wedge shapes were kind of the order of the day. Look at the Princess. The same styling kudos came from this. Lovely pop-up headlights, very much of its time, and that did catch on for many years. We have a Mini next door. Now this, judging by the registration, well, judging by the back lights, this is definitely an R53. If I'm too wrong, Cooper S. These backlights do give it away. The R50 53. It's not instantaneously. It's not a car that I can instantly recognise without looking at the back lights. I think I would confuse the next generation together. They didn't really change too much, but on the R50 53s. The smaller lights are very obvious, and that transit has been converted in no manner of respect. I am a car person, but I am an animal lover as well. I love dogs and I love donkeys. Hello, sir. Well, despite some of the issues we've had, we made it, and she's looking better than ever. And do you know what, I was a bit worried that she wouldn't blend in today, and she's blended in really well. We've had quite a mixture of classics here, and quite frankly I haven't felt out of place at all. It's very welcoming, and the show organisers should pat themselves on the back. I'm really chuffed, and I did clean this up the other day, and you know what, I didn't actually do a lot of cleaning, and it's come up so well. And that the brake dust wheel protector that I use, the spray, do you know what, I just got a microfiber cloth, and especially on the front wheels, the brake dust just fell off, literally just fell off. I am going to be replacing the brake discs, because unfortunately this brake disc is just too scored for me. It's making a noise. There is excessive brake dust on this particular wheel because it's scored. So anyway, more things in it. I am simply gobsmacked by the choice, the variety of cars that have turned up at this show. This is the Unnamed Classic Car Club, and as I said before, it's been established 10 years and I've never known about it. Or now I do, and this is going to be a regular spot where I can come in the middle of the week, because weekends I tend to focus on the bigger stuff or tinkering. In the middle of the week after a day at work, this is absolutely spot on perfect, and I've met so many really nice owners, and I've probably met a few people on the way, a few possible subscribers if they think that my channel is worthy. Well, some do, some don't, but I'm going to leave this here, and I will see you all very soon in another episode. And it may be at a show, it may be fixing, it may be rambling. Well, if this wasn't a ramble and a bit of a some people might say that I've been pushing my luck a few times in the shows. My knowledge is very sketchy and it kind of shows, but my passion for cars of all shapes remains the same. Take care, guys. See you very soon. Oh, but this is usually fixing and tinkering, and as typically usual, there is something that has come up. Now that, oh, it's gone off. Right, I'll tell you what that was. That was the low cooling light level sensor, and I thought, oh my God, what's gone on? Is it not crapped all its coolant everywhere? No, I've checked under the bonnet, everything's fine. What I suspect is happening is there is some sludge in the system that is working its way around. I still think there's oil residue everywhere, and I think some has gone on the actual sensor, and basically I think it's like a float type, it's stuck, and then basically it's caused the light to go on. It thinks it's basically on a low coolant level. It's not, it's just gone off. It's just some crap going through the system. So a coolant change is definitely on the cards, and we're going to do a few other things. But anyway, I am now going to get going since that problem has actually solved itself on camera. Take care, guys.